everyone. Okay, so I'm not sure what the lighting's like. I've got my big lights on because I'm sat in front of the window. I'm looking outside. It's only 3:30 and it's almost, I won't say pitch black, but it's really dark outside. And the weather is pretty miserable out there at the minute. So it's a really nice day to sit in with a hot drink and just do some painting. And I thought I would film, so yeah, perfect time to film this video, because when I went to PlannerCon, I wanted to pick up the new set of Prima watercolours, the Odyssey set. Now, my colour palette is normally like either nice vibrant candy colours or, you know, like this sort of palette, these nice bright colours, or the pastel colours. And I'd always wanted to get the Pastel Dream palette, but after watching a couple of videos, I was unsure about whether or not to get them because they didn't seem to act like other watercolours. And what I mean by that is that they didn't seem to, because they are pastel, and even painting on here, it seemed very different to me than other watercolours. So I was really apprehensive about getting them. But I love the colours so much. And I was finally won over by the actual colours themselves. So I thought, well, I'll go home and just experiment and play around with them. And I discovered something just different, how these work compared to the other ones. And I'm really pleased that I didn't listen to anyone else and that I just bought them and learned for myself what they're like. And I think that's what you've got to do. If you like something, sometimes it's best not even to go by what people say on YouTube or wherever you get your information from. I think sometimes it's best, if your heart is still tugging towards wanting to get something, then if you can afford to get it, then perhaps just buy it and see and try it for yourself, because that is the best way you're going to learn. Reviews are really good up to a certain point, but you know, some things might not be for some people, but they might be for you. That's why I think it's a really, I mean, I guess this isn't really a review, but this is just sort of like showing you that what I've learned from these. And then you've got to really make up your own mind about something. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And so yeah, so my colour palette is obviously the ones that I just showed you. So I saw this Odyssey set and I never actually thought that this would be my colour palette at all. Or not in my colour palette, but I didn't think I would like them. And then when I looked online, I just saw how vibrant they are. Just hold that up to you. Now, those colours, I don't know what it is about them. They're just, I think it's that they're so rich, different from one another. This Budapest here, it's actually, if you watered that down, you can get a really lovely, I mean, that's rich colour alone. So I think just the pigmentation in these colours, I think that's probably what it is. The pigmentation in them is fantastic. This Inca is like a gold yellow, and the blue, London blue. Amsterdam is just a purple, I guess. And I like Tokyo and Rome because they're like similar, but they're not. But what I'm trying to say is that you've got to really play around and experiment with these colours. And with these colours, with like your general watercolours, when you, say if you do wet on wet, the colours will just move around. And that's what I was put off with by the pastels, because they didn't seem to do that. They didn't seem to move around, barring maybe the citrus, you know, the deeper, the highly pigmented ones, which is only a couple, like Bumblebee and Citrus, say, maybe Crimson. But otherwise, yeah, I just thought, oh, they're just going to sit on the paper and not do anything. And I don't know, and then my other main concern was they're not going to mix. And then I got a really pleasant surprise, and I thought, I've got to do a video on this, because I don't know if people know about it. Maybe there are loads of people out there that do, but I just thought I'd share my own experiences, because I, as a journaler, when I use watercolours in journaling, this is really helpful knowledge. I want to show you how they react on different papers, basically. So this is just me playing around on, this is literally just like a little sample. This is watercolour paper. And okay, so let me just show you. This is watercolour paper, and this paper in this book is, what's that? Is it manga? So basically the paper in this pad is, I don't know where the pad is, but it's like a marker paper. It feels quite, just like normal high quality paper, but it's obviously you use it when you're using marker pens, and it's so it doesn't bleed through. So I thought, well, I'd make a book with the paper and see how the watercolours would react. And it's really, really odd because look how dark they've come out. Look how vibrant that is. That's the pastels compared to, and this is Tomo River paper. So that's still quite vibrant on there. So you've got those. I'd say that's probably more vibrant because it's like it's just sat on the paper, and I don't know, can't really explain it. And of course it will vary on whether or not how much water you've added. Wet and wet and dry, wet and dry. And then that's look how light it's turned out on the watercolour paper. So yeah, I wanted to quickly show you. Let's see, so the differences. So this is your normal, say, like marker paper, so just like a high quality paper where marker pens aren't really supposed to bleed through too much on it. So let's see, can you see? So I'm going to do a comparison. So these are like high quality artist grade watercolours, and these are Daniel Smith's. Where's my spray bottle? Okay, so these are the Daniel Smith's. I'll wet those ones in a minute. I'm just going to use my big mop brush. People keep asking me what size this is. It says 2, if that helps. So yeah, I don't know. It's by Pro Arts and it's called Renaissance Skrill. So anyway, I'm going to do. So this colour here at the end, I'm not sure what's it. It's called Naphmite, I think, Maroon. So this is going to be wet on dry. Let's see if you can see that. And there's this brush holds a lot of water, so you're going to get quite a lot of yeah, water in that, even if it's wet on dry paper. But then if I wet the paper with this colour and then apply it, wet the paper with water and then apply the colour, you can just see how that moves into wherever I've put water, and then and it creates like a really defined line here. So this is what I'm talking about, how colours will react. So if I add more water there, it should. So it's just a different paper. But if I use this on, I will get around to the pastels in a minute, but I just wanted to prove a point. So this is the watercolour paper. If I do like just wet it there, and this is why I love watercolours, because they just seem to be alive. And then I apply it where I've put all the water. Look at that, oh my goodness. Right, I'm zooming you in. You need to see this. This is what I love about watercolours. It's crazy, it's just amazing. This colour particularly does this very, very well. So wetting the paper, and you don't need a lot on your brush of the colour, but then watch what happens. Look at it, immediately it just goes boom. Now, okay, as I said it before, that's what worried me about the pastels, not moving, just sitting there doing nothing. So I decided to, when I got them, just to have a little play around with them. So I'm going to do, I'm not going to wet the paper. So this is your watercolour paper. Just spray my colours. So the ones that, some of these pastels are very, very light, so you need to really fully load your brush up with the colour. And one of those, let me zoom you out, sorry, is the, oh, let's see, lilac, well, Icy Sky is a very light colour, but I want to show you with Lilac Rain what this is like wet and dry, so like, and it's really nice because you get the colour quite, you know, it stands out. If I do wet page and then apply the colour, it does sit there and it doesn't really move, and it's lighter, as you'll see, you know, you compare it, it is lighter. So you do need to, this is what I found with these colours, it is better to do wet on dry. I hope I'm explaining this right, because I'm not a professional at all, but what I'm trying to say is that you need to if you want to get these colours in a vibrant way, you need to not wet your page first. So here's like the marker paper. I'm not going to wet the page. I'm just going to load up my brush with one of the lighter colours, this lilac again, and then show you the colour. It sits there, it doesn't, that's just moving with the water there, but it doesn't like spread or anything. But if I was to do again, wet the page first, and then apply the colour, it kind of, it's lighter, you know, you're moving it around, it's not, you're not going to get as vibrant a colour. So with these Pastel Dreams, I would use them if you want to get a vibrant colour, wet on dry. But then when you do start playing around with them, so you can take, say, let me show you what the crimson's like, so that's a really lovely colour. It's a really, really nice colour. Then you can, I'm really sorry you can't see that, let me just do that again. That crimson, look there, it just very bold, beautiful colour, that one. You can then get, say, let's get Bumblebee, which is the brighter of the yellows. This one here. And then you could mix that and you can get you just play with these colours, you can get some really lovely colours. Mix that. So that's what I did with in here on the Tomo River paper. Started to play around with these. Let me zoom you out. Hang on. So I moved that, that's the marker paper. This is the Tomo River paper. So I'll show you. Okay. So it dries. It doesn't dry chalky. There is something else on here. Oh, it's a pen. That was it. I was testing out a glitter pen on there. That's what I can feel. But yeah, it's dries really nicely. So if I do on here, I'm going to try the rose because the rose is a really nice colour as well. It's really lovely. It kind of, because Tomo River paper has that, you can't feel it in this particular book, but there is that sort of a film to it. It glides over it. It's like the paper doesn't soak into the paper, it sort of glides there and sits there, which when you're doing wet on dry with this, especially if you've got a mop brush, because the water sits there for a while, it gives you a chance to mix the colours, to blend them, and this is what I find really, really fun with the Tomo River paper in these colours. So if I get some, this Paradise here, you can blend it in, and then obviously like with colour theory, you don't want to, if you want to get mud, it's fine, but you just need to know how, like what colours to mix with each other. So be really careful when you do mix them if you don't want any darker colours, because I mean they've got these browns, these are really, really lovely here, but so if I get, say, some crimson, now if I want, that's such a nice colour, if I want, let's see, yeah, I wanted to, in this, try to get one of these two here quite dark, because it can be quite light. So I really load up my brush, make sure there's not too much water on there, and then create that there. And then what I'll do, I won't move it around too much because then it will just get lighter. If I start moving that around, you'll lose the colour. I'll get some more on my brush and then I'll add another bit here. And then if I wanted to blend it into, move it into there, then I'll just sort of blend it. And then bearing in mind as well, it dries differently as well. Like it always dries a different, not different colour, but like either lighter or darker. So like here, when you can see the difference, like it looks light here, but when it dried a little darker. What other colour can I do? So let's try Pool Party. And I love as well on here the different textures it creates, like when you mix the colours. Let's try, I'll try the Icy Sky. This is such a light colour, but it's really nice. Sea Dream. You can really hear the winds picking up outside. So yeah, what I found is that if you, let's try some lemonade. I love the names of these colours. If you put wet onto dry, they will be more vibrant. So yeah, if I wet this page here now and then I apply Lilac Rain, it's not too bad, but it is better. Just found it's better if you, like, it's more vibrant, like that. Let's do Citrus. Is a really nice colour. Look how vibrant that is. Oh, love it. And I could get just carried away mixing these. Get some really nice colours. See, that's a really highly pigmented one. Let's add some of that on there. Just have so much, because I love these colours so much, I can have so much fun with them. Really nice. And finally, I'll just show you what these browns are like. I'm not really keen to have the browns mixed in, but these are really good if you are, like if you see Mindy Lacefield's work, the browns do come like in handy if you're doing like painting, I don't know, like her latest class, the Goody Goody Gumdrops one, it's like gingerbread men and stuff like that. And if you're painting girls, the hair, if you want to use brown hair, those colours really do come in handy because it is part of that whole candy. So like these would be good for like the biscuity part, you know. So yeah, that is what I've learned with those colours. If I show you on this paper, let's see, this one here, how they just mix on the, see that, that's the Daniel Smith, look how it's just dried like that. But yeah, so you've got your the Prima Pastel Dreams, so that's dried really light, that's the wet on wet, but that's wet on dry, so it's dried more vibrant, and that is like one of the main things about these colours. Let's try, let's see, where did I just put them? Yep. So if we mix them on here, let's try. So you've got your, what's that one, Crimson, and then do the Citrus. And you can keep adding, so let's do a bit of Rose there as well. Just experiment with the colours. And then if I wet underneath it, see if it'll move. So it doesn't really, it's a little bit there because there's there is a highly pigmented colour in there, so it moves slightly. It is creeping down. You see that? Yeah, but let's try Paradise. It's a nice colour. Pool Party. Let's see, Rose. Oh, so lovely. And then I'm going to add some Lilac Rain at the bottom there. Such beautiful colours. You do need to load up your brush with a lot of the colour on some of these. So yeah, I hope this has helped you, especially if you're into journaling. If you like these colours, because I've done wet on dry, they are darker and they will dry a nice vibrant sort of colour. But obviously if I watered them down, then they're very, very light. I just have to move it like that, and then it just once with the wet brush, and it becomes, you just lose the vibrancy. So that is what I've learned with those. I hope it helps you, because obviously, like with the, let me just show you the difference. In fact, that's the Tropicals. I just want to quickly show you before I go the Odyssey. Oh, hang on. So we've got new doors. So I'm really, really excited we've got internal doors, which I haven't had for ages because we've been waiting for someone to come and put them up. So it means no more going for the postman, which she normally does. Anyway, yeah, my daughter's just come home, which is why she was barking. So I just want to quickly show you the, these are just amazing. This is Budapest. So look how vibrant that is. So you can tell the difference between this set and the Pastel Dreams. Just these ones are so much more vibrant. Like the Pastel Dreams are a unique set, I'd guess, you know, because you don't really, I haven't seen a pastel set of colours anywhere else. Let's see, so if you do wet and wet, you don't need to put much on your brush at all because it's so vibrant. I mean, they're all, obviously apart from this one here, which is a white colour, these are all extremely vibrant colours. You've got this one here. Like literally, I just touched the watercolour paper with that one, and you get a lot of colour. And then, like when you move it around with a wet brush, you still have quite a lot of colour pigmentation there. Whereas with obviously, look, still the same. Whereas with the Pastel Dreams, you just have to move it once and you lose the colour. Let me see. I'll just try. This one's gorgeous. This is such a good colour. Moi, I think. Look at that. It's just such an unusual colour. And then just water that down. It's beautiful. Okay, so yeah, I hope if you're deciding whether or not to purchase the Pastel Dreams, I really hope this video has helped you. And you can just create some really lovely journal background pages with those pastels. So yeah, this is the video that I wish was made because I've just had to buy these colours to learn for myself, and I'm really glad that I did buy them because they are one of my favourite set of colours. Obviously Daniel Smith's for me stand apart from any other watercolours, but I really do love these sets that Prima have brought out because just the colour palettes in each of them are fantastic. So hope this helped. If you have any questions, just leave them below for me and I will try my best to answer them for you. Okay, take care. Thanks. Bye.